Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the Market Open. We don't do these very often, but I did want to get one in. I wanted to get in here for the early birds, and it is nice. It's nice to join you guys for a Market Open. Now, after a day like yesterday, holy banana bread. I got a couple words for yesterday. Opposite day. So everything we were anticipating to happen yesterday, well, we're all wrong. It was the exact opposite. So going in like Sunday, looking at Monday on Sunday, it was like, yeah, there's going to be chaos. We're going to see oil spike. We're going to see some uncertainty in the market. We're going to see a lot of red. That was the consensus for Monday. Well, yeah, that didn't happen. That didn't happen at all. In fact, we had a pretty good green day yesterday, and oil didn't do so well. Oil kind of retreated. So what the heck was going on? What happened? Why did it go the opposite? Well, part of it is Iran's response to being bombed. We knew that Iran, they talked a big game, but when it came to actually firing missiles at the United States, they fired a very limited amount at a base that they knew that base was going to be able to shoot every single one of them down in Qatar. Also, I believe also in Iraq between the two of them. They knew it was more for show. It was more of a let's do this just so we can say we did it, so that we're not looking like we're being pushed around. And then, of course, Donald Trump later in the day came out and declared a ceasefire. Whether or not he had the agreement of both sides, we're not entirely sure, considering the fact that he's already had a little bit of issues with getting Israel to stop. He may not have had full agreement, but nonetheless, because of the measured response, it became very clear very early in the day yesterday that this wasn't going to escalate out of control. And that's a good thing. And even though on Sunday night, we had the Iranian government voting to shut down the Strait of Hormuz, and that never happened, of course. China did not want that to happen either, because the U.S. had talked to China and said, you got to tell Iran not to do that. So, yeah, all of this stuff kind of bled together, and instead of getting the chaos we were expecting, we didn't. We got a green day. We got a good day for anybody who was investing in HOD. But what can I say? So what are we expecting today? We got about 11 minutes before the markets open. So let's look at one of the things I like to look at before the markets open is, and we're going to pull this up, I like to look at the pre-markets. Now, we don't have pre-markets in Canada, but they do in the States. The American markets do, and that can sometimes give us a good indication, because a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times, whatever happens on the U.S. markets tends to filter up to the Canadian markets. Now, looking at the futures right now, we've got the Dow Jones right now. Yeah, it's looking to open up a roughly, now this here is called the implied open. So this is kind of like their best guess, that it's going to open up about 288.95. So we're looking for a green start to the Dow Jones. The S&P 500, another green start, perhaps not as strong, only up 42.68. But keep in mind, this is relative too. When you look at how, like right now, the S&P, we're like what, a little over 6,000. So that's technically a bigger number. It's actually technically a bigger number than the Dow Jones when you look at it, 0.7% to 0.66%. NASDAQ also expected to do the best out of the three. So it is looking to open at 0.97. So here is, that's not what I wanted to show you, but that's BlackBerry. BlackBerry, by the way, this is one of the reasons that I was over here and put BlackBerry on here. They've got earnings coming out today. I believe they're coming out in the afternoon, so I don't think it's going to be a play for us this morning to sort of look at it and see what's going on. But we are expecting to see earnings from BlackBerry today. So anyway, let's jump over here to the TSX. As you can see, we're still well into a green month. So that little blue line here, this is where we were when we entered the month. I dropped this line down so we know if we're having a green month or a red month, depending on where you are over the line. But so far, we're up 3.2% on the month. So that's not too shabby. In fact, for the year to date, the TSX is up a little over 7%. So that's not too shabby either. And this we're expecting green today. So it's probably going to look pretty good. Same idea, S&P 500, and you'll see well above that blue line. And the S&P 500 had a fantastic day yesterday. And NASDAQ, same idea. Whoops, let's not do that. Well above that blue line. Dow Jones, well, the Dow Jones, I mean, out of all of them, the Dow Jones is the closest to that blue line. In fact, we flirted a little bit with the red side of the line for a while. So we'll see how the Dow Jones does today. Russell's well above the blue line. So gotta love the Russell. Now, gold is down today, 1.59%. That makes sense. If people are a little bit less concerned today, and if people are feeling a lot better on the market, then yeah, some people will start moving some of their assets out of gold back into regular stocks. So gold down, silver down, of course, WTI, so West Texas Intermediate, is down. So it'll be interesting to see. And down here, so look at this, guys, look at this. This is that HOD. So HOD is that Beta Pro crude oil inverse leverage daily one. This is the one that Rory, if you guys are familiar with Rory's always talking about this one. I think this episode here is probably too early for Rory because he lives in the West. But yeah, look at this. Yesterday, up 16.24%. There was it started at $4.51, finished it up here at $5.26. So you could have made almost $1 a share if you were playing this yesterday, but it's risky because I'll tell you, if oil had done what everybody thought, this would have been plummeting yesterday. So it's a dangerous one for sure. All right, let's take a quick look at the heat maps from yesterday. Obviously, energy took that big hit yesterday. You can see CNQ here leading negative 4.09%. But everybody else, not a bad day. Like here's Dollarama up 2%. Trying to see if there's anybody else. Well, Power Corporation of Canada over here up 1.62%. So yeah, pretty green day yesterday, and this is expected to move into today. So we'll see how that goes. Looking at the U.S., same idea, a lot of green, but here's an interesting one. This is kind of another story. Tesla, look at them, up 8.23%. What the heck's going on with that? Well, Robotaxi, their first one released on Sunday. So a lot of excitement around Robotaxi, and so far it seems to be going well. So they had a very good day yesterday, up 8.23, and I expect this to continue, but I don't think we're going to get another 8.23 today. I think we'll get a bit more of a movement up on Tesla, but overall, yeah, pretty good day. Now, crypto. Now, this here is live, so crypto is 24/7. So this is as of right now. Look at this. We're having a nice green day. Bitcoin up 3.86. Ethereum up 7.51. Solana 7.54. Holy banana bread. And as usual, there's like about 15,000 or more altcoins out there. We're talking Altapalooza. There's a lot of them. I like to just pick on one. We're going to grab a red one since the market is so green. Let's see. Here's a random one here. What do we got? Peribus. Gosh, this one feels like it might be politically incorrect. incorrect to pick on it. But I don't know what Peribus is. I don't know what it does. And it's not worth very much. It's worth a fraction of a penny. So I always say when it comes to crap coins, be careful, guys. Stick to the tried and true cryptos. With these guys here, unless you've read the white paper and you have full confidence in what they're doing, I would be leery. So stick to the big ones. Stick to your Bitcoins, your Ethereums, your XRP, and yes, even the Dogecoin. Even the Dogecoin is a better choice for sure. All right. Now that we got the preamble out of the way, we got about 4 minutes to the bell. Let's catch up with chat. Oh boy. First in the house is Stan Gray with a good morning all. And we got a new community member, Ray. Ray, thank you for joining. Can't wait. Now, as a community member, Ray's got a few things. First of all, Ray gets to watch videos early. So today's video that releases this afternoon, Ray can watch that right now because it's been available since yesterday afternoon for the channel members. They get roughly 24 hours, roughly. It depends on how the editing goes. Sometimes they may only get 23 hours if I'm a little late, but the channel members do get that, and they get to pick the last video of every month. So right now, and those channel members who are in here, if you haven't voted yet, be sure to vote on the community tab. The community came up with 4 ideas for that last video, and this is the video that will be dropping at the end of this week. And they've come up with 4 ideas. You guys vote on them and choose which one I'm going to do. I think right now we've got a 2-way tie. I've got a 2-way tie for the video. So definitely, channel members, get in there, break that tie for me if you wouldn't mind. I've never had a tie yet. It's always gotten broken, but you never know. This could be the first time. In addition to that, you also get an extra live stream every month. So we do a channel member live stream monthly, and now everybody gets the chance to see those, but they gotta wait a year. So the channel member live streams, I do keep them exclusive for a year, and then I release them so people can see what we were doing last year at this time. So all that fun. But anyway, welcome aboard, Ray. It is good to have you. All right, we got Roku in Stittsville. Am I too early for Wednesday's market close? Yeah. We're going to be back again, by the way, guys, tomorrow afternoon for the market close. That's a normal show. This one here is an extra. I just threw this in. Somebody asked me in the comments on one of my videos. They're like, could you please do a market open? So here, this is for you. All right, Paul's in the house with a good morning. Now, Paul, you are on the west, so it's a very early morning for you. All right, Danielle says, morning, Candace. Nice to see you on this Quebec holiday. Uh-oh, it's a Quebec holiday. I don't know which. All right, I'm going to take a guess. Is this Bastille Day? Honestly, I don't know. That's just a wild guess, but let me know what the holiday is because I don't know. I have no clue. Muggsy says, good morning, everybody. All right. Derek is in the house. Let's see. SLXN, SLXNW, NASDAQ, and also IPA NASDAQ as microcap gems. Oh, boy. Let's see. Candace, -- in Laurentian, Canada for investment advising. Whoop, whoop. I love the whoop, whoops. I could sit here and just go whoop, whoop all day. Those are just fun words to say. They're fun. Let's see here. I'm just paying. Oh, guys. The market's open. I was almost late. I looked at the clock and it was 1 second after the bell. So I got that bell in there. We are now officially open. The market's going fantastic. We'll see. We'll see. We'll take a look at that in a moment. Let's just continue on here. Danielle says, I was ready for gold to reach all-time high yesterday and was ready to sell my IM gold stocks. I sold a few. I am waiting to see what the market will offer this morning. All right. So we're probably going to see a little bit of a retracement on gold today. It's hard to say. I think by the end of the week, though, gold will be back. Like, gold's not going to I don't think gold is going to do the same thing as oil. Like oil right now will go back to a slump. And I think right now oil's back below $70 a barrel. I think gold, yeah, we'll see some sell off, but gold will continue to move up. So if if you've lost your opportunity, just wait with the gold. You will get another. No problem there. All right. Danielle says, what are your thoughts on eBank, Evolve European Bank? Funny that you mentioned eBank. They are actually in the list for the video that's releasing this afternoon. So eBank has been doing fantastic. So this here, basically they invest in all of the big European banks. So the banking sector overall, it's one of them. It's always been a very stable sector, even in Europe, definitely in Canada. They've been doing really well with that ETF. Now they do covered calls on it, so you're also looking at a pretty nice income from it. But I do like eBank quite a bit. The only complaint I would have about eBank is if you're concerned, like if you're looking to make fast trades, eBank is one of these ones that it doesn't have the volume because you don't have as much people interested. But if you're looking just for something to buy that's going to give you a reliable income over the next however long, eBank might be an option to look at for sure. All right, let's see. Immunoprecise antibodies, IPA, NASDAQ, AI biotech company that conjures up new therapies using specialized AI, a 40 million market cap. Get in now, 98 cents a share. Well, of course, Derek, I'm not a fan of those penny stocks. So I always say sometimes, and this is the thing, when we're talking about penny stocks, some of them are good. Absolutely. Some of them will probably make you a ton of money. Absolutely. Is this one of them? Maybe. But you got to be careful because for every penny stock that does really well, there's probably 4 or 5 that are going to do really well, not well. They're going to not survive. And when we move into economic turmoil, so for example, with a potential recession on the horizon, that's where a lot of penny stocks might get shaken to the core or shaken right out of business. So you want to be careful, but Derek's right in that there are some penny stocks that will absolutely do well. So what I always say is if you find that penny stock that you like and you like what they're doing, you think that what they're doing is going to become something big, well, yeah, you can get involved. Just don't bet the farm on it because, it is a bit more of a gamble when we're talking penny stocks. All right. Let's see. The West is best, or so they say. I've heard that. I've lived in the West. So, yeah, West is best. There's a lot of Western pride for sure. Let's see. Andrew Moore, EQB CEO, passed last night. Oh, boy. I had not heard about that, Andrew. Oh, that's not... Always sad. Sad to hear of somebody passing. We'll have to see how that affects EQB. This is one of those things where honestly, this will depend on 2 things. I know nothing about this, so I'm complete speculation zone. But if it was a expected death, like if he had been ill and they knew that this could be the result, they'll do better because he'll have had time to prepare whoever's taking over to take over. Now, if this was an out of the blue sudden thing, that could impact them a little bit more, a little bit of a shakeup over at EQB in those circumstances. So what can I say? All right, let's see here. IPA, NASDAQ, what is your analysis of their debt and revenue ratios, etc.? Any chance you'd analyze IPA? Well, I can tell you right now, it's a U.S. stock, so let me bring this up here. We're going to go to Yahoo Finance because I can tell you right away that my normal portal TMX probably would mess this one up. Let's see here. IPA, here we go. Immunoprecise antibodies. All right, let's put it up. So yes, this is of course that penny stock, but yeah, this is one of the things. Like if you are looking at a penny stock, you want to go definitely even deeper than the fundamentals. You really want to understand what they're doing. But when we look, first thing that popped into my head right away, we do have a negative earnings per share. So they're not yet profitable. So they're currently not profitable. And I can tell you right now, that means we're going to see a negative return on equity. And let's head down to the return on equity here. Yeah, here we are, negative 124.75%. That scares me. Derek, that one does scare me. So if I was basing it just on the fundamentals alone, like look at their profit margin as well, negative 194.79. So if I was basing this entirely on fundamentals, I would run for the hills and I would put I would dig a trench around the hills so that it couldn't follow me. So that's what I would do. However, sometimes startups can have numbers like this. Sometimes you got to take on a bunch of debt. You got to be unprofitable to get things going. So this is where I would say, go deeper than the fundamentals. Research the company. Find out what they're doing. Find out what their debt. What are they using their debt? Now look at, this is one part here that is okay in the fundamentals, is when you do look at their debt to equity ratio is only 51.46. So they're definitely not going overboard with the debt. But this is that thing. Sometimes with a new company, a startup, you lose money for years and years and years before things start to make sense. But I would want to know what they're doing. I would want to know what their plan is, how they plan to become profitable, what that looks like. What are their projections to becoming profitable? That to me is very, very, very important. And those are the things I would take into consideration with us for sure. All right. Oh, so cool. I'm having iced coffee today because if you guys were on the weekend show, I was mentioning the air conditioner not working so well. So my office is on the upper floor and our air conditioner is pretty much, the basement is nice and chilled in the basement. The middle floor, kind of in the middle. On the top floor, it's like, it's like, it's like on the way to the bathroom this morning, I had to wait behind the devil. I mean, it was just, it's hot. It's hot up here. But nonetheless, this heat wave, hopefully, I think it's supposed to break after today. Yesterday, we had a humididex of 47. So that's like, and for those of you in the US, a 47 humididex, that's 116.7. So Fahrenheit, just to give you an idea of how hot it was. All right, let's see. Canadian Tire crypto coin should be their strategy at crappy tire. Maybe. Andrew says a Canadian Tire crypto would be excellent. And Paul is saying, yay, Tesla, IBIT and strategy up. Yeah, Tesla's doing great. And actually, let's bump on over here and see how Tesla's doing this morning. All right, here we go. Okay, well, they're not up so far. So far, I'm showing them down. I'm showing them down about 0.33%, but we'll see. We'll see if they do get any more movement up at all. And then, and the S&P 500, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, all in the green here. So we have that green start. Now, right now, my TSX is delayed on this tool. So we'll know what the TSX is doing in about 5 minutes. All right. Ricardo's in the house. Hey, good morning. Let's see. I'm so excited for KEP. They just did a gap up of 20%, and my call is in the money for 12.50. Ooh, I love gap ups. Let me just take a look here. I'm kind of curious here. Let's just say here, KEP. So this here is the Korea Electric Power Corporation. Okay, why not? Let's take a gander at this here and see what's going on. Ooh, look at this gap. Look at this. That's a really good gap. Now, I am not seeing an earnings here, but I do see a news button. Let's just see here. So let's see. Yeah, Korea Electric Power shares surge 16% after company freezes Q3 electricity rates. Okay. So that's one of these things, guys. When you get something like this on the market, you get a giant jump up or down. There's going to be basically two things that will cause that. One, they had earnings that came out that absolutely excited investors, or two, there's some kind of news that excited investors. That is one of the reasons I do like TradingView, because I can pump them in here and find out right away what that's going to look like. And in this case here, we're looking at that news. So freezing electricity, that's done it. That's done it. All right. Let's see. Ship me some banana bread and I will join. Ooh. Of course, I might have to eat the banana bread before I ship it. I like banana bread. All right. Andrew says, I'm super excited about my whole portfolio except Alpha Petro, which I almost sold at the top. Yeah. And they're going to retreat a little bit today as oil has been coming down. Oh, boy. What can I say? What can I say? Paul says, I had to set an alarm to get up. Oh my gosh, really? Oh, you know, there are moments. There are moments in a content creator's life that make what they do worth it. This is it. Knowing that somebody set an alarm to get up to watch the show. It's like, yeah, that's the pinnacle. That's the pinnacle right there. All right. And we got JJ. Well, this is a surprise. Yes. Well, I've been wanting, like I said, I've been wanting to do a market open. I said I would get one done in June for sure. Um, I am contemplating trying to get a few more of these in, because I do know that there are a lot of folks who, maybe it's because of work or where they live, that they just can't make the close. They can't make the market close. So this is always fantastic. So let's see. July 1st is Alberta Day. Oh, boy. Joe is in the house with a good morning. Hey, Joe. How you doing? Let's see. French Canadians didn't like Republicans. Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that completely. I'm not a huge fan of Republicans either. Not a huge fan. At least, yeah. I mean, since Trump came, the Republican Party has absolutely become something else. Something else. I'm going to leave it at that, because I know there's a few of you there that like the Republicans, and that's fine. I'm okay with that. My fundamental core is that I believe everyone has a right to believe whatever they want, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So let's see here. Harold says, waiting to see what Hamilton will do with their ODTE ETFs. I see they raised some payouts, such as SMVP, from 0.26 to 0.03. Yeah. So the ODTE. So these are options. These are basically covered call ETFs that use no limit options. So basically short options, meaning that you're going to have dividends coming out on these funds, on these new Hamilton funds, more than once a month. So here's the thing. I think, and they have not clarified exactly yet, but most people are expecting it to be a weekly dividend on these funds. So they will be coming out. I imagine we'll see them within a month. I imagine we will. Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, when I was mentioning to the channel members, that's one of the options you can vote on. For me to go in and sort of look at those, and look at everything that we have on those right now. So that is one of the options. I think it's actually one of the options that's currently tied. All right. Reverend Ramirez says, what do you think of Stantec, STN, compared to Bird? Well, all right. Everybody knows I love Bird. I love Bird construction. But let's actually go over to Stantec. And what did I just clicked on Canva. That's not where I meant to go. All right, over here. Here we go. Now Stantec, I think, they're pretty solid. They're pretty solid too. Let's just pull them up. Now Stantec, obviously, they're a bigger company. So they have that going for them. But let's pull it back here. Let's pull it back to the 3 years. And look at this. It's hard to argue with this level of growth. They've been growing absolutely fantastic. So I don't really, I look at it this way. Between the two of them, I think you can't go wrong with Bird Construction or Stantec. Stantec, one of the things I do like about them is that they are bigger. I think they can handle downturns better than Bird for that reason. But on the other side, Bird has a lot of government contracts. And that's also a good thing considering that we've got this build coming out of the government with this, all of the infrastructure bills and such. So I like them both. And like I mentioned before, like I just said a moment ago, if you chose Stantec over Bird, or if you chose Bird over Stantec, you're going to win. I think both of these are fantastic companies. One thing I will point out, some folks might look at a company like Stantec and say, well, okay, well, gosh, it's pretty darn expensive. And it is. It is absolutely. So, with fractional investing, that's not a big issue because I know you can get fractional investing with Wealthsimple and Questrade. Not really a big issue, but there are some people that like to hold whole values when it comes to stocks. And in that case there, Bird becomes a little bit easier. But no, I do like them both. I like them both. Derek says, laugh my ass off. So I invest 10% of my portfolio max in IPA. Makes best sense. Oh, 10%. That's a little high. It's a little high. Let's see. Harold says, Jerome Powell testifies in front of Congress starting at 10. Will Trump tiffling during this affect markets again? It's going to be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how that's going to work out. Trump absolutely wants the interest rates cut. That's been on his agenda for the while. And the problem is, a lot of the data that's been coming out has not been supportive of cuts. Now, one of the things you have to keep in mind is a lot of the data that has been coming out as well has been kind of skewed for the simple reason that, oops, I can feel the sneeze coming on. 1 second. Of course, the second I hit the mute, the sneeze goes away. It's like, no. So yeah, what was I saying? Oh, the data. So one of the problems with the data is that because a lot of companies, as we've been moving into tariffs, have been buying a lot of stuff, sort of stocking up their stockpiles, that has strengthened some of the data that's been coming in. And so if you don't take that into consideration, it would be very easy to make the wrong decisions. And that's one concern that some people have with Powell, is that he's looking at the data and not taking into consideration how companies have been responding to the to the tariffs, and that things may be not as rosy of a picture as a lot of the data paints. But here's that thing. I really think Powell should look at even just a single cut, a 25 basis point cut at one of the next couple of meetings. I think, he does say he's been very adamant that they're still going to do 2 before the end of the year, but I would get that first one in sooner than later. I think just even if it's just to appease Trump a tiny bit. JJ says, happy St. John the Baptiste to all. So it's not the Bastille, it's St. John the Baptiste Day. Okay. Understandable. And you don't celebrate Canada Day. Oh, that's interesting. I did not know that Quebec did not celebrate Canada Day, but you're more than welcome to step across the border over here into Ottawa and you're in Montreal, so that's a big step, and celebrate Canada Day with us if you want to. Or maybe not. Let's see. Derek says, Ontario is turning to lava. Send us a new climate tax. Please hurry. Mark Carney, tax us and save us from the lava. I would love to argue against the lava concept, but I'll tell you, I can feel the heat right now, and it kind of feels lava-like. Kind of feels a little lava-like. All right. It is St. John the Baptiste Day today. We celebrate being proud French Canadians. We have big parties everywhere in the province. Too bad it is so hot. Yikes. Yeah, absolutely. Quebec is very distinct. So, it's definitely worth celebrating. So now it's one of these things that I've got to get over to Quebec one of these years and experience the Saint John the Baptiste Day. It sounds like it could be fun. Now, mind you, as an Anglophone coming over to celebrate it, a few folks might be like, why? Or sorry, pourquoi? Pourquoi? Let's see. Work, Danielle. It's already creeping up to 47. Oh boy. Yeah. Like I said, yesterday, the humididex here was 47. The last I looked just before the stream, I think we were around 42. So if we're not forecast to get back to 47 this afternoon, but it would not surprise me. Let's see. I'm staying indoors as much as possible. Yes, absolutely. That's where you want to be. Muggsy says, "Love the market open, Candace." Thank you. Yeah, and that's the thing. I have debated about making a market open as a regular part every week. It's well, if the market opens when I do well, it certainly moves me in that direction. So what can I say? Jay says, "Can't sell or buy today in Wealth Simple, just partial in kind transfer to Questrade. Didn't know it would freeze my account." Oh boy, did it? That's not good. Hopefully you're not frozen for too long. Let's see. No, I think Hamilton's ODTE is still monthly at the moment, but they might consider weekly or semi-monthly depending on how it looks. Okay. I'm still hoping for weekly because I know in the initial wording they said that more frequent than monthly. So I'm hoping or even bi-weekly. So every second week or semi-monthly. So every second to a month. That would be kind of cool, but we'll see how it looks once we get more information. I mean, that's the big thing. Let's see. Regional protectionism is the best. Trump is restoring pre-World War I dynamics, which will prevent excessive global shipping of raw materials and processed materials products. Job creation policy is protectionism. Oh boy. What can we say? Danielle says, "Staying indoors, watching the market and movies." Okay. All right. Nothing wrong with movies. Nothing wrong with movies at all. All right. Let's see here. XXRP on the NASDAQ. ETF hovers between 25 and 42. So if XRP goes from $2 to $10 suddenly, would the XXRP ETF go up to $100 from the said range above, or would it be more towards the current range? That's a good question. So XXRP, first of all, let me just I want to take a gander here for a second. I thought I had opened up here it is, a Yahoo Finance. Okay. So it is a 2X. All right, that's important. I haven't really played with XXRP, so now that's a good piece of information to have here. So yeah, I mean, right now it's sitting at 2604. So yeah, if XRP goes up, obviously if XRP, like if they're holding X amount of XRP and XRP goes up, even let's say XRP doubled. We'll just say this as an example. Then this here, instead of going, doubling, it should go up twice that. So it should double twice. So that's kind of, that's the whole 2X thing, because, they're basically for every, if you bought a share of this right now, 2610, they're going to be investing, what is that? 5220? So they're going to be investing 5220. And yeah, and that's it will go up. But in addition to that, you have to be a little bit careful too, because there will be higher management fees on this. So you may not get a straight translation. So it may not be 100% of that profit going to you. Some of it's probably going to them at the same time. But yeah, you do well. But keep in mind, if XRP goes in the other direction, you could be in trouble with that. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, I don't, Yeah, this would not be. I was thinking about covered calls, but I'm like, yeah, no, this is probably just a straight up 2x leverage without covered calls. So you don't have to worry about that at all. All right. Derek. It says JJ doesn't celebrate Canada Day either. I comprehend why. Quebecois first. There we go. Yeah, absolutely. Why not? But yeah, Canada Day here is moving day. Oh, nice. Let's see. I wanted to buy bank today, but too high at 813. Okay. Let's see. Lots of voyeurs come to Alberta. What are they coming to look at, Derek? Just curious. BC Lower Mainland, 13 degrees Celsius with a possible high of 23. Oh boy. Not quite literally. You know, let's go over here. I'll show you guys where we're at right now. Let's go news, Ottawa. All right. So here, yeah, right now it's 30 degrees. Humididex currently is 41. So, yeah, I feel it. I feel it. And here is our afternoon. So by this afternoon today, yeah, it's only going up to 43 Humididex. So, you know, but keep in mind, yesterday they only predicted 46 and we got to 47. So maybe we'll get to 44. Not like I want it to. We'll have to see. Now, tomorrow, oh boy, tomorrow is supposed to actually be a sane. So looking here at tomorrow morning, I can't believe it. We're only going to have a humididex in the morning of 23. So that's going to be nice. It'll be time to open up the windows and get all of the heat out of the house. All right. Paul says Harvest MSTY is lowering monthly dividends from 37 to 33. Yeah. And this is one of these things, and this is kind of one of the things like, so with today's video, for example, I was looking at monthly, monthly dividends, and I excluded companies that had not had a 3-year history with this one. And this is why a lot of times, a lot of these newer ETFs, they're kind of still finding their zone. And sometimes dividend changes can be a normal part of that, just because, as they figure out what their operating expenses are going to be. Like a lot of times, even like a management expense ratio, they usually don't even have that initially. It takes a while to figure out what all of the costs are going to be. So sometimes those dividends will come down a little bit as well. And it doesn't surprise me that some of these harvest ones might come down a wee bit. I'm not expecting them to come down a lot, but a wee bit, some of them. Let's see. Take a look at Round Hill's Maggie ETF on the NASDAQ. All right. Well, let's do this with. All right, we're gonna just go backwards here because I had a Yahoo here. Let's take a look here. Round Hills. Let's put this in. Oh, let's get rid of that. Let's just go here. Round Hill China Dragon ETF. Which one are we looking at? Maggie. Round Hill Sports. Round Hill ETF Trust. All right, you might need to give me a bit more information on that. Now I'll just try MAGY here just because you also gave me that. Just take a look here. Oh, this is it. MAGY. Okay. A Round Hill ETF Trust. Okay, let's pull this up. All right, interesting. Round Hill Magnificent 7 covered call ETF. All right, this I like. I like that we got the Magnificent 7 in here. Doesn't look like they've been around for very long though. That's 1 day. Let's just. Oh no, they have. All right, 5 days. Year to date. Okay. 1 year, 5 years. They've been around longer than I thought. Okay, very interesting. So yeah, I mean, I think overall the Magnificent 7 are going to do well. So to me, this is probably not that bad. I mean, this is very much like investing in a regular tech. Because if you take, for example, like let's just even look at something like QQQY in Canada. Now, they invest in the NASDAQ 100. But I can tell you right now, a lot of that investment is going to be pretty heavy. I think the Magnificent 7 are going to be pretty heavy in that investment. So yeah, and this is not so bad. And they also have covered calls here. So I don't know what their see, now this is where I might have to come back to this one here. And let's try this MAGY just to see if I can get Oh, yeah. See, they don't even have it. They don't even have it. Oh, all right. Because I don't have, well, I don't have any yield here. So I don't know what they're paying out. I could go to their historical data, though. And we can take a look and see what the dividend looks like. All right. So, yeah, they're paying out, what is it, 27.6 cents dividend. Oh, it's monthly, I think. Oh, why did they pay 2 in June, 3 in June? Oh, is this one of these weekly ones? See, you caught me off guard. That's interesting. That's very, very interesting. But at the same time, I'm just gonna, yeah, it looks like they only just recently started. We got like 4 in May and 3 in June. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't looked a lot. Like I was actually didn't even know about this ETF until you pointed it out. But that's interesting. That is very, very interesting. All right. Let's see. Thanks for the XXRP insights and also IPA. You're so helpful. Oh, you're welcome. Let's see. All the separatists on the comment section is telling voyeurs, come to Alberta for beaver pelts, I guess. Okay. Let's see. Good old beaver pelts. The Harvest Misty ETF is the only way to get MSTR exposure in Canadian or CAD. So not rushing to sell. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, not actually go back to this for a second. Technically, if you've got even an ETF, like if you have any tech ETF, because of strategy now being on the NASDAQ, if it's a NASDAQ ETF, you're going to get some exposure. You will get some, not a lot, but you will get some for sure. Let's see. Do CIBC CDRs only do S&P 500 stocks? Could this be the reason for no CDR for MSTR? Well, no, they don't only do S&P. I mean, we got 4 German stocks as well that they do. Yeah, that's a good question. I always thought, like every time I think of CDRs, I'm like, why don't they have a strategy one? So I'm a little bit surprised. Hopefully they expand more on that. But I did hear recently that they did close a couple of them. So I think I mean, I like CDRs. I think they are a good idea. But yeah, no, they do need a strategy. I don't know why they haven't. Let's see. Maggie released about a month ago, I believe. Oh, that's weird. That's weird because for some reason I had data going really far back. But it also depends. Sometimes if a company sort of has a name, like a ticker, and they sort of recycle it into something new, like somebody buys it and just changes it, then you still have all the old data showing up in here. And sometimes it looks a little bit deceiving. I'll give you a great example of that. Canoe EI, so EIT.UN. They were, that fund was bought by Canoe Financial. And when they bought it, and they sort of changed everything about it. So when you look back far enough, you'll see the dividends used to be higher at one point, but it was a completely different fund at that point in time. So that was before they were bought. So since they've been bought by Canoe Financial, the dividend has been at that 10 cents the whole time. So it's kind of interesting because sometimes I'll get somebody saying, oh, well, Canoe used to have some high dividends. So something definitely is up with them. And I have to explain, no, it's because that's technically not the Canoe that we have today because of that purchase from Canoe Financial, the whole redesigning of that fund. All right. Yeah. And it's weekly dividends. I saw that. That looks pretty cool. That looks pretty cool. What are your thoughts on real estate lately? Real estate is starting to look a little better now. So we have seen, and we actually on the news that we did on Sunday, we had a story about real estate starting to rebound in many cities. So we are starting to see real estate starting to look a little bit better. So people initially going in to 2025, it was real estate. There was a lot of high expectations, but then along came the inauguration of Donald Trump and along came tariffs. So the tariffs, it's not that the tariffs hurt it. It's just that people were like, oh boy, we need to, let's wait. Let's not buy now. So house sales kind of suffered as a result, as people sort of sat back and didn't really make a lot of movements on real estate during that time. And now that we're getting to a point where, we kind of got a general idea of what the tariffs are looking like. Yes, there is still some up in the air as to what's going to happen between, and let's go big. Let's go big. What's going to happen when it comes to a trade deal? Because that's something that apparently by, I think it's July 21st, we're supposed to have a trade deal of some sort with the U.S. That's according to Carney and Trump from the G7. Now, mind you, we're talking Trump, so anything can happen. But there has been movement now in real estate. So we are seeing real estate starting to pick up in some cities. So I think real estate is going to get better. And that should reflect, like I have, I've been happy with, well, you guys all know one of my favorites is, and let's go over here to it. Whoops, I suppose I should bring the screen back if we're going to head over. As you guys know, I've been very, very much a fan of RMAX. So, this here is one of my favorite little covered call ETFs, but this here's the Hamilton REITs Yield Maximizer. So, and you can see right now, they've already, in the last 5 days, we've already seen a little bit of movement to the upside, but let's go back a year. I'm going to go back 3 years because I want to sort of show, as real estate, like basically a couple of things happened in the fall, at least in Canada in the fall, because of immigration being, the clampdown on immigration. That did hurt real estate a little bit in Canada. So we did have a bit of movement down. We also had the whole anticipation of tariffs, and we had, right here, this was Liberation Day, but we are expecting to see things start to rise again. And that's, to me, that's fantastic. And keep in mind with this one here, you are looking at a pretty high dividend, so 9.801%. So it's going to happen. Now, one of the reasons I like this one, though, guys, it's not because of the yield. It's not because of that. It's because it gives me exposure to both Canada and the United States. So 50% of this one is Canadian REITs or real estate. The other 50% is American REITs or real estate. So I like that exposure. To me, this is my way to get that American real estate exposure in there. Are there other ways to do this? Sure, absolutely. This just happens to be the way that that works for me right now. I would, though, I would love to see them come back up a little bit. And I also realize, because of the covered calls, if real estate were to absolutely explode, it's still gonna go up, but it will lose some of that upside potential. So that is something that, I'm fully aware of, but that's fine. It kind of makes up for it, the fact that I got some half decent dividends coming off it at the same time. All right, Andrew says, are there any sectors that look to like they are going to begin rebounding? So when it comes to sector-wise, some of the big sectors, I think materials, anything to do with construction or infrastructure, I think those are going to be companies that are going to be doing well as over the next couple of years for sure. I also think, defensive stocks and defense stocks. So the defensive stocks would be things like utilities, consumer staples, because I think people are still going to be using all of this stuff. Well, of course they are, even if we go into a recession. Now, the defense stocks, and so, this is like, and sometimes you have to look at the United States, so things like Palantir. We've got some stuff here in Canada as well, but one of the big key things is a lot of commitments have been made military-wise. So Canada, Carney just recently committed to get Canada up to the 2% GDP for our defense spending. There's even right now, I believe, at the NATO conference, I believe he struck a couple deals already with Europe in terms of defense. But defense is going to be a key thing. And I know that Trump is saying he would like to see the NATO rule be that everyone has to spend 5%. So the pressure right now is more defense, more, so that is going to be a good sector to make money in. But at the same time, if you have moral objections to that sector, there's lots of other sectors that you could be looking at for sure. You don't have to get involved in defense. You don't have to. I'm putting that out there. If it's against your morals, I am 100% behind you in not going against that. And in fact, I know there are people in the community that have some very strong opinions on this. I know because I had a vote. People threw some stocks that they wanted me to vote for a deep dive on, and one of them was a defense stock. And I had somebody they gave me an earful. They gave me an earful because it was just like, no, morally, you shouldn't be able to put that there. You shouldn't do deep dives on these things. So, like I said, defense stocks, there is a moral component to them as well. And I'm absolutely okay. If you're against defense stocks, absolutely 100% behind you on that for sure. Paul says, take a look at HIM's big drop on Monday. All right, let's take a look. HIMS. Oh, HIMS and hers. Yeah, well, we can take a look. Yeah, that is a big drop. That is a big drop. Now, this here is I'm actually going to open this one up on Yahoo. Yesterday, one of you guys was kind of like, please do the U.S. stocks on Yahoo because the TMX often just doesn't do them right. So where is my Yahoo? It's over here. All right, so HIMS. We're going to do HIMS over here. We'll pull up HIMS. Here we go. All right, it's loading the chart. Yeah, we can see this drop in here going on. So what the heck is going on with them that they had a drop like that? Now, once again, remember earlier I said if you got a big pump, there's two things that can cause it. If you got a big drop, same two things. Now, before we head over here, I'm just taking a quick look. They don't have a lot of debt. Their debt to equity 11.54. Return on equity, love this number. Look at this, 36.79%, 10.7%. Good profit margin. So I'm liking that. So let's head over here. Oh, by the way, while we're here, let's just take a quick gander. We got a little bit we got some red. We got some red on the TSX, a little bit. It's down 0.06%. It is not following. Like, look at this. We got some healthy green in the United States. So Canada's not following it today. Interesting. Very interesting. But all right. I wanted to pull up HIMS. Because I want to see if we got any news going on or if we had some earnings. So let's pull it up here and see. No earnings, but look at this. We do have something in the news. Let's take a look at this. So let's see. Yeah, so the stock fell over 30% after ending its partnership with Novo Nordisk. So apparently there were allegations of deceptive marketing related to the drug Wegovy. So here we go. That's a thing. That's one of the things, guys. And honestly, I'll show you as well. Like, I know we looked initially over here. They do have news below here, but we'll see here. So you could have come down here. Let's see, investors who lost money urged to contact. So there is a little bit of securities fraud investigation. So there's a little bit of news down here too. So most places that you're going to go to look at things will give you news. Same thing here. Amazon normally will give you some news as well. Yeah, you go to the news tab and we'll see here. So yeah, his and her stock plunges after Novo Nordisk ends Wegovy direct sales deal. So there we go. We got a little bit, but that's what's going on there. Oh, and we could have just went to the next comment. We didn't need to go to all that. We could have just Andrew had the answer here. So yeah, absolutely. Lawsuit filed against them as well. All right. JD says, rather than holding RMAX separately, I am very happy with just HDIV. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, HDIV is really, really good. Those of you who watched today's video, you might see HDIV in it. You might. I'm not going to confirm, but you might. Let's see, Ricardo. If the global banks keep lowering rates, utilities will be a good play since the yields would be more attractive than others. Yeah, no, utilities are definitely a very strong play right now. So, as of course, I keep putting money into utilities every month. They are a good defensive stock. They will do fine through the recession, and I really do like the utilities. So, and there's actually some really good utilities ETFs out there as well. One of them is, I think is it XUT? We're in Yahoo, but sure, why not? Let's see here. XUT. Here we go. Yeah, iShares Capped Utilities Index. So this is not covered calls. It's just a straight up, utilities, Canadian utilities. So there you go. And of course, this is Canadian. I'm sure there's also, I think, HUT. Let me just take a look here. HUTL. I think they do global. Yeah, so HUTL.TO, Harvest Equal Weight Global Utilities. So you're getting exposure to US utility companies, Canadian utility companies. You're getting the works. But I will say that with a lot of utility companies, even if you're looking at the Canadian one, you are still getting some American exposure. So for example, if you look at a company like Fortis offers, they do a lot of work in the United States. They've got a very big US footprint. Enbridge, same idea. There's, so a lot of the Canadian companies have really big footprints in the US. So you're getting that US exposure anyway, but just something to keep in mind. All right. Danielle says, can't wait to see your video this afternoon. I really like the way you see the market. Nice. Yes, absolutely. I like the way I see the market too. Let's see, Ricardo. Well, as a Guatemalan, third world country and residing in the US, now I likely go back to Nicolas Cage quote in Lord of War, bullets change governments far shorter than votes. Oh boy. Yeah, I suppose a deep comment for the morning, a deep comment. Let's see. On Friday, I sold my 3 shares of HIMS at 64.21 to buy. Good move. Good move, Paul. Yeah, there. You gotta love it. You got to love it when when your timing is dead on. And let's see, from X, breaking Canaccord Genuity buys HIMS buy rating and 68 target price guidance still achievable without NVO partnership. Oh boy, yeah. That story may not end. It's going to be interesting for sure. Okay, guys, if you got your last minute questions, get them on in. Get them on in. These things, we normally go about an hour on an open. I still got cold coffee. So if you got the questions, drop them on in. Oh, that's so good. It's funny. Cold coffee on a hot day kind of almost tastes better than hot coffee on a cold day. So, but then again, it's probably perspective. Ask me in January, and I'll probably change my mind on that big time for sure. Whew, yeah. And I'm going to be working in the office all afternoon, so it's going to be it's going to be a very hot day. I will sweat a few buckets, I think. Probably need to get the air conditioning fixed. Probably need to. It's becoming a higher priority quickly. That's for sure. All right. Well, guys, it doesn't look like there's any questions. All right. It has been fantastic. You guys rock as always. Best way to start the morning together. I love it. I will be back here tomorrow afternoon. We got a market close. So let's see what happens between now and then. It could be an interesting day. All right. Until then, everyone, enjoy your day. If you're in the heat, today's a good day to stay in and, keep it cool. Keep it cool will be the word of the day. Until tomorrow, everyone, take care. Bye-bye.